Hi, it's Jane, and it's April. No, it's March 31st. We're not into April Fools yet. This is the last day to get your mini challenge Minerva posted. Although, I probably will not get the winner picked until tomorrow morning to begin with. Now, I have a message for those of you that have ordered bags, and it's just out of abundance of safety. When you receive your bag, whether it's one of the turquoise ones or the purple ones, it's sealed. When you get it, I want you to take a pair of scissors, cut along the top, shake it down so that the item doesn't get cut. Cut along the top, take it, dump it out into your, into your chair or onto a table or something. Take this bag, throw it away, and then go wash your hands for 20 seconds thoroughly. Now, I doubt these bags are contaminated. However, we do know that there are postal workers, FedEx, UPS, all this other that are, some of them are testing positive as they go, although a lot of post offices have started wearing gloves when they're managing these, but they're not changing gloves between each item they pick up. And that is just out of an abundance of caution, because this type of plastic poly bag can harbor the germ longer than cardboard items or paper items. Those generally survive a day. Leave it out in the sun, it can go away, but the last thing I saw was these can harbor it for up to 3 days as a live virus. So just out of abundance of caution, open your items that way, toss the bag quickly, wash your hands thoroughly, and then enjoy your bags. Okay, just out of an abundance of caution. What have I been working on? I don't have anything finished in the way of knit or crochet. Whoops. And I'm pulling out stitches. I didn't put my safety pin in. This is my crochet top, and I had put a marker so that I knew I was about an inch away, inch and a half away from where I need to start adding my arms. And I will do a video later on this afternoon about how to add those, how to increase your bust as you need to, or decrease. For me, it was a decrease of 10 stitches, and I really don't think it's going to matter much in this. I don't think it'll show much, so I'm just going to leave it as is and not decrease those stitches. But you may have to decrease in whatever stitch you've chosen for your top. Knitting, I'm not getting as far. Of course, it takes a little longer with the knitting. This is just one side. That looks like it's going to be a project. If I don't sit down, hunker down, and quit sewing, it may never get done. But I'm doing a lot in the way of sewing. Of course, bags. And I've been experimenting with another type of bag that I'm working on. And you'll see those next week. What I have been doing is just continuing to work on getting those small blocks into 16 patches. And then I have been looking. I did a lot of blocks in the past, sample blocks to just play around with some of the leftover fabrics that I had, like this or like that. And so what I was thinking was that I might put these together to make some big tote bags, front and back. And got quite a few other blocks, and that are just mixed. They're not um, the same. Some of these are just different blocks with different fabrics I add, you know, crazy things. So I'm looking at doing something with all of those blocks, and some of these that are in the same kind of family line of fabrics. And excuse that they're all, you know, unironed and stuff like that. I had these blocks that I thought I would put together as quilts. You know. And they're all just little sample pieces. So I think I'm going to match up some of those and put them into totes for later on to put up in the shop. Just because I know I'm not going to make a quilt out of them. There's still a lot of work that would have to be done to them. You know, don't know where all the other fabrics are, so there isn't any way to coordinate them, really. So may just make some sampler totes, some pretty big totes. And that's all I've been working on. You know, it's had to go out, and yes, I did have to go out yesterday after I told y'all to stay home. I had to get some thread. I totally ran out of white thread. And I use white with a lot of the masks that I make. Some of the darker masks I use black. But my white, I had these big, huge cones. Hang on, let me get one. You're not stopping. Okay, I'm back. I use these big cones like this. And yes, it is a big cone, you know, compared to a pen. And so I needed more of these. And where I go for my embroidery classes is over in Mifflinburg. And they sell these big cones in quite a variety of colors. And they were open yesterday for the first time. After I came downstairs and was like, I'd already looked upstairs on my phone, and they wanted like $15 for that cone, plus $16 shipping through Amazon. And I was like, no. So, and I knew I needed some more fabric. I mean, really. So I took a nice drive. It's about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the kind of traffic you have. Since there was no traffic, I made it in 40 minutes. Yes, I have a lead foot, but it's all wide open country. So it was a nice drive to just, kind of meditate and listen to some gospel music on the way and enjoy the view, seeing animals. Then I get to the store and go in and I get that and find some fabrics. Now, they did get a waiver in order to stay open because, one, fabric, elastic, and there are a lot of sewers that need fabric. So they applied for an extension. They got the extension to open. Very limited hours. They do have signs for you not to come in if you're sick. I'm not sick. The worst I have is allergies, and I did wear a mask when I was in there because of allergies, and I was afraid I might sneeze and scare them. They are Mennonites, and they are old world Mennonites, so they don't normally drive. The owner and the wife don't drive. However, their youngest, one of their brothers, drives, so that he can pick up machines and do things like that, install the machines into homes, those kind of things. So they did get a waiver in order for the store to open because of fabric, and a lot of people were asking for fabric to sew masks. So, and I had a request from one of my nurse friends. She was wanting some butterfly And the only butterfly I have is on a black background. And if you're a patient, you're in and out, having trouble breathing, um, black tends to lead to a lot of hallucinations. So I chose not to use the black background. But I did get these, so I will be making some masks and a couple of bags out of this because I got a couple of yards. Then I did get a cute little, these are some little trucks, have flowers in the back, and you know, little things that say flower sale, and just cute little trucks. They had some larger trucks like panels, but those would be more for like if I were going to make totes with just the one truck on it. And I chose not to get that fabric at this time. And then these, there will be some that will be made into masks, and then there will also be some made into bags. So, you know, and I got, like I said, got 4 of these. 2 in black, 1 in, 2 in white, 1 in black, and 1 also in a color called vanilla that I use a lot for quilting. So, you know, I had basically called and told them the thread I needed. When I walked in, the owner asked me, asked me if I had looked at some, they got some new fabrics in. He showed me the new fabrics, and of course they were taking stock of their elastic, and he'd asked me if I needed any elastic. And I told him, I said, no, there was many years ago when I was making baby fetal demise gowns. I'd gone to this one fabric shop in Floyd, Virginia, and it's the old schoolhouse fabric store. And I got, you know, big rolls of 1/4 inch, like 4 rolls. So I had 2 left over still. So I had plenty of elastic for mask. And while we were there, he got a call, someone wanting to order, and they would, you know, drive up and he would bring it out to him. Some of them don't want to come into the store, and I, you know, I understand that. But as he got through, he said, we're running out of elastic and we're having a hard time getting elastic from our distributors. And, you know, I told him then, I said, you know, bungee cords, if you take the outer casing off, are full of elastic. He goes, they are. I said, yeah. And some of it's an 1/8 inch. Some of it is a 1/4 inch. He goes, maybe we can easily get those from the car part store or even Wally World. You know, they sell those big bags of bungee cords. He said, maybe we can offer that up if we can't get any more elastic. Or at least suggest it to our customers, you know, so they can go raid their husband's toolbox and use that. And I said, well, it's an alternative. And he was like, how'd you hear about this? I said, I had a friend tell me about it, and I was seeing it on Facebook as well. So I took one of my shorter bungee cords and started undoing the braid that's on the outside. Sure enough, it's got elastic cords in it. So he goes, I said, yeah, I had to undo one to see if it's true, you know, because I just don't trust everybody. So, and one of the good things was that one of our local, I don't know if she's Amish or Mennonite, one of our local ladies this time of year makes the chocolate covered eggs and crosses, things like that, in like different flavored on the inside, like peanut butter, coconut cream, and they're you know, they're pretty big eggs. Well, she's in my neck of the woods, my side of the mountain. And when you get those eggs, when you buy those treats, in our area, they're anywhere from 30 to 40 cents higher than when they are if you're in Mifflinburg. And they had some out for sale, so I got a couple of Naomi's Easter eggs for us for dessert. You know, it's just a nice, fun thing to do. But while we're there, he's offering anybody that comes into the shop while they're closed down and not having classes, you know, to pick up supplies or bring their machines in to be worked on or whatever, they are offering 10% off of your purchases, which is normally what they do when you come in for a class. You get an additional 10% off. So that was kind of nice, you know, to get that little discount and whatnot. And, you know, to see some people face to face. And luckily they have a large family and they live close, so, you know, they're able to do their social distancing with their family. However, they are keeping the elder owner, Mary, out of the shop, which kind of drives her nuts. She likes being in the shop, seeing what's going on and whatnot. So they have her at home, and she's allowed to go outside and work on her garden. Take a horse for a ride, you know, that's about it. But yeah, it was nice to get out for a little bit. It's a nice drive, and I think I was in there maybe 15 minutes, and you know, before I left, they have Clorox wipes, and they had to take a class on how to sanitize everything and whatnot. And after because I used my card, and the gals were a little afraid to touch the cards, but they do have new chip readers that you can put the card in. And I think I surprised the girl because when I finished, I took a Clorox wipe and I wiped down the machine and wiped down the counter where I was at. And she said, "Thank you." I said, "Well, you know, this saves you one step for a minute." She said, "Well," and she goes, "Well, you need to get rid of the wipe." I said, "Yeah, if you can hold the trash can up, I'll drop it in." So it was a nice little trip. Did get the things that I needed, and I'm back to sewing again. So, you know, that's it. Um, I knew that for the amount of what it was going to cost me for those spools, I could get 4 spools at the shop. And like I said, with the exception, with them being able to open up the exemption from the governor because of the fabric and people needing fabric to make masks and whatnot. So I was able to go over and do that. And I was in contact with 2 people, tops. And they're very healthy people. So, and they do have a sign on the door, don't come in if you're sick, you know, don't touch anything you don't necessarily have to touch. And, you know, when they showing me the fabric, I did tell them I wanted that one, so I let them pick them up because some of the girls were a little scared. They were scared, you know, to touch anything you had touched. So, and I realized that right off the bat because of the way they were standing very far away. So, you know, you have to pick up on clues from people. So I pointed to the material I wanted, let them handle it, cut it, and hand it to me, and then step away, and then me take it off of the counter. So, yeah, that's it for that portion. I know I'm rambling, but now we're going to go on to what in Tarnation. And there aren't a whole lot of stories, but some of them are cute. This one I wished I had found sooner because it's a great thing for someone who's stuck in a home and wants to watch something for hours on end. And it was, company offers $1,000 to watch 20 hours of Ozark. An internet service finding website is offering someone $1,000 to spend their coronavirus quarantine time binging through the first 2 seasons of the Netflix series Ozark. InternetAdvisor.com said the chosen applicant for 17-day dream job will be paid $1,000 to watch 20 hours of the series, the first 2 seasons, in advance of the upcoming 3rd season. The lucky fan who lands this gig will be given 17 days to watch those 20 hours. Season 1 and 2, then you'll have to complete a checklist that includes several familiar tropes that are present in each episode. And it was open to Ozark fans and newcomers alike, no restrictions. The only thing is you had to apply for it for yourself and not for someone else. The winner would also receive a Netflix gift card, Ozark merchandise including I Build Church's coffee mug. However, the applications ended March the 27th. So that one's out for us, but you know what? That gives you a site you can go look for, because I'm sure there are going to be other offers for other things. So you might pick up a few nice things along the way. So check that website out. I'm going to leave a link as well in the description box down below the video if you're on your computer, if you're on your computer, you can see the description down box below. It'll have a little thing that says show more. Click on the show more and it'll show you everything in the description box. Those of you on phones and iPads, if I remember correctly, you have to scroll all the way down past the comments to see that. So that's where that description box is. Next one, ink spill at factory turns Ontario Creek bright red. An Ontario Creek spotted flowing with bright red water was contaminated by an ink that spilled from a factory, officials said. Hikers in the Masagu, captured video showing the Etobicoke Creek flowing with red water Tuesday, and the video posted online quickly led to discussion of biblical parallels. Of course it would, when the rivers run blood. Peel Public Works, that's a mouthful, investigated the footage and determined the cause was something less than divine. An ink spill at a factory in North Mississauga. The agency said more than 100 gallons of ink had spilled into the creek. An accident occurred at the factory and the ink spilled. The agency said personnel from the Ministry of the Environment, Conservation and Parks were working on the cleanup of the spill. The creek was checked. I don't know what's wrong with my tongue. The creek was checked and there were no dead fish or other wildlife seen by either Peel staff, Ministry of Environment, or Conservation and Parks staff. So if you got to see that, and you'll get to see video, because there's a link down below. This one I found rather interesting. You know, a lot of us these days are working at home, and there are a lot of people that work at home anyway, just in general. But this survey I thought was fairly interesting. 12% of at-home workers skip video due to lack of clothes. Yep. A survey of stay-at-home workers in the U.S. suggested 12% of the workers have kept their cameras switched off during video calls due to a lack of clothing. Let your imagination run wild. Mentimeter, an interactive presentation tool, announced it commissioned a survey of 1,500 people working from home amid the COVID-19 pandemic and found 12% of respondents admitted to keeping their video cameras off during meetings on Zoom, Skype, or Google Hangouts because they were naked or partially clothed. Sorry. Company also said that 44% of those surveyed admitted they dressed in more professional attire specifically for video meetings, while 16% said they had rearranged their homes to look more professional in the background of a video call. A total of 11% of respondents reported seeing something that they considered unprofessional in the background of a co-worker's video call. Yeah, let your imagination run wild. The survey also suggests 56% of workers feel their opinions are heard less in video calls than during in-person meetings, and 25% believe their contributions aren't being acknowledged as much as when working in the office. That's rather interesting. Now this next one, the video is awful cute. TV news reporter aborts segment to flee bison herd. And you can see him standing there with the microphone, the film going. He goes, looking over. And it's just funny, his reaction. A TV news reporter filming a segment at Yellowstone National Park shared video of the moment he decided to flee an oncoming herd of bison. Dion Broxton was preparing to record a segment on the park's COVID-19 shutdown Wednesday for NBC Montana when he spotted some bison headed in his direction. Broxton's camera was rolling when the reporter spotted the bison and decided to leave the area. The video shows Broxton getting ready for his segment when he looks off screen. Oh my God, Broxton says while looking back and forth between the camera and the out-of-frame action. After a moment, Broxton aborts his segment filming plans, saying, "I ain't messing with you," as he quickly packs his equipment back into his vehicle and leaves the area. There was a herd of bison walking right toward me at Yellowstone National Park today, Broxton tweeted. The tweet went viral and was shared by multiple celebrities, including football legend Deion Sanders. I don't blame you, namesake. Somebody has to tell the story. No, it was cute because you're like, what's he looking at? Next one, Indian police officer dons coronavirus helmet to raise awareness. A police inspector on traffic duty in India is raising awareness of the coronavirus lockdown measures by wearing a motorcycle helmet modeled after the virus. Inspector Rajesh Babu, who has been stopping pedestrians and vehicles at checkpoints in Chennai, is sporting a helmet fashioned by local artist B. Gautam to resemble coronavirus when viewed under a microscope. Babu said he's been using the helmet to remind travelers not to go outside for non-essential reasons and to wear face masks and other protective gear when they do have to go out. If you go out, I will come in, Babu, in character as the virus has been telling travelers. He said he wanted to raise awareness of the dangers of the virus and inspire people to stay home. People are not hygienic enough. I'm going to repeat that. People are not hygienic enough, he told CNN. We have government orders not to come out, but still we're seeing people roaming here and there without proper safety equipment, without masks. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced a nationwide lockdown measure Tuesday. The measures are scheduled to last for at least 21 days. And yes, I know I said not to go out, and I went out yesterday, but I did use safety measures. But it was a nice little drive just to get out, just to drive, and to see the sights and the animals, the horses, the mules, the sheep, the goats, those kind of things on my road trip. Okay, everybody, remember to be kind, practice kindness, and stay safe. See you again soon.